It begins with silence. Not the comforting kind, but the kind that feels like something is listening. Let Me Inside, a free indie horror demo from Barboot Games, doesn't ask for permission. It seeps into you. Just 53 megabytes in size, hosted on itch.io, this game proves that terror doesn't need space, it needs intent. Built in the Godot Engine, Let Me Inside embraces the raw, grainy textures of PSX-era horror. Jagged shadows. Pixelated dread. The kind of visual noise that makes your brain fill in the blanks, and what it fills them with is never friendly. You're dropped into a space that feels like a memory you've tried to forget. The walls are wrong. The air is heavy. The light flickers not because of a glitch, but because something is near. Barboot Games, the developer, doesn't spoon-feed you lore. There's no exposition dump. No tutorial. Just movement. Just sound. Just fear. The game's pacing is deliberate. Every hallway stretches longer than it should. Every door creaks with hesitation. And the sound design? It's surgical. Sparse ambient hums, distant knocks, and the occasional whisper that doesn't belong to you. Atmospheric horror doesn't scream. It whispers. It doesn't chase you. It waits. In a world saturated with jump scares and gore, atmospheric horror is the quiet predator. It builds dread not through what you see, but through what you feel. The walls, the silence, the flicker of a light, everything conspires to unsettle you. This genre thrives on tension. Not the explosive kind, but the slow, suffocating kind. It's the hallway that stretches too long. The sound that shouldn't be there. The door that's slightly ajar. Atmospheric horror is psychological. It's intimate. It crawls under your skin and stays there. Games like Silent Hill, Amnesia, and Layers of Fear didn't rely on monsters alone. They relied on mood, on decay, on isolation. The environments were characters. The fog wasn't just visual, it was emotional. It blurred reality. It made you question what was real and what was imagined. Lighting plays a crucial role. Shadows aren't just absence of light, they're presence of threat. A single candle in a dark room becomes a lifeline. A flickering bulb becomes a countdown. The genre uses contrast to manipulate your senses. Brightness becomes rare. Darkness becomes dominant. Sound design is its heartbeat. Not music, but ambience. The hum of electricity. The creak of wood. The distant echo of footsteps. Atmospheric horror weaponizes silence. It lets you hear your own breath, your own heartbeat, and then it interrupts it with something unnatural. Narrative is often fragmented. You're not given answers. You're given pieces, notes, whispers, memories. The story unfolds like a fever dream. You're not just playing, you're decoding. And the more you understand, the more disturbed you become. The genre often explores themes of trauma, guilt, and memory. You're not fighting monsters, you're confronting yourself. The horror isn't external, it's internal. The house is haunted, yes, but so is the protagonist. And maybe, so are you. Atmospheric horror respects the player's intelligence. It doesn't hold your hand. It lets you wander. It lets you fear the unknown. And when it finally reveals something, it's not a scream. It's a whisper that confirms your worst suspicion. Modern indie developers have embraced this genre with passion. With limited resources, they focus on mood over mechanics. Games built in engines like Godot or Unity prove that you don't need AAA budgets to create fear. You need vision. You need restraint. You need atmosphere. Atmospheric horror is timeless. It doesn't age. Because fear, real fear, isn't about blood or monsters. It's about isolation. About uncertainty. About the feeling that something is wrong, and you don't know why. It's the genre that doesn't just scare you. It stays with you. The PSX aesthetic isn't just retro, it's strategic. It strips away polish and replaces it with grime. It reminds you of the early days of HorrorGaming, when limitations bred creativity. When fear came from what you couldn't see, not what you could. Let me inside channels that era with reverence and restraint. As you explore, you'll notice the absence of enemies, or at least, the absence of visible ones. But the game isn't empty. It's watching. The Godot Engine handles lighting with surprising nuance, shadows stretch unnaturally, corners feel deeper than they should, and the flicker of a bulb becomes a warning. There's a moment, maybe 10 minutes in, when you realize you're not alone. Not because something jumps out, but because something doesn't. The game weaponizes silence. It lets your own mind become the monster. And that's where Let Me Inside excels. Psychological horror. It doesn't chase you. It waits for you to chase yourself. User reviews on itch.io and Reddit echo the same sentiment. I didn't expect this much fear from such a small file. It's like PT and Silent Hill had a pixelated child. I had to stop playing, not because it was bad, but because it was too good. The game's demo status means it ends before you want it to. But maybe that's the point. Maybe it's not about closure. Maybe it's about opening something inside you. A door. A memory. A fear. Let Me Inside isn't just a title. It's a request. A threat. A promise. And once you've played it, you'll realize it already has.